fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The sterility lab hummed, a sterile, heartless rhythm against the frantic beat of my own. Years I'd poured into this endeavor, years chasing whispers, rumors, insane ramblings, all fueled by the legend of Silas Thorne. Thorne, they said, was a man driven mad by grief. His wife and child swept away by influenza in the 1890s. His rage, his utter, incandescent fury was so potent, so all-consuming, that it allegedly birthed something. A curse, the only anomaly in a universe governed by cold, hard, unbreakable laws. Everyone thought it was a myth, of course, a cautionary tale whispered by grief-stricken spouses, a local legend for the gullible to cling to, and that's why I dedicated my life to disproving it. Dr. Evelyn Hayes, was going to prove that Thorne was just another madman whose pain was overblown. I adjusted the focusing knob on the electron microscope, squinting at the Petri dish. Decades of Thorne research, all starting with that stupid, cursed grave, the soil samples, the accounts of livestock inexplicably dying after grazing near the burial plot, all of it pointed to something. A blight, a contamination, something tangible. But what? Then the impossible, a flicker on the screen, a disturbance in the cellular structure, something that shouldn't be there, an energy signature that defied every law of physics I knew, and I knew them all. Impossible, I whispered, my voice trembling. My obsession had been purely academic until they arrived, Liam and Cale Thorne, descendants of the man I'd sought to debunk. Liam, the eldest, had eyes the color of a stormy sea, a perpetual scowl etched onto his face. He was a man of imposing stature, solid muscles, and a heavy brow that hid a world of hurt. He was a historian, a master of dusty archives and ancient texts, and he despised me. He believed the Thorne legacy had been unfairly tarnished by my investigation. Cale was different, younger, leaner, with a sardonic smile and a darkness in his eyes that hinted at something volatile. He was a chemist, a brilliant one, and he found my research fascinating, a terrifying, morbid fascination. He was interested to know what exactly I was looking for and how to stop me. They were both breathtaking. Their combined presence electrified the room, a dangerous undercurrent that made my skin prickle. Liam radiated barely contained hostility, a promise of cold retribution. Cale exuded an unsettling charm, a tantalizing hint of something dangerous lurking beneath the surface. They'd shown up at my lab unannounced, demanding answers, demanding I stop my grave robbing. Liam's words were clipped, laced with barely suppressed anger. Cale merely observed, a predator assessing its prey. Dr. Hayes, Liam had said, his voice a low rumble, you're stirring up things that are best left buried. My family has suffered enough from this ridiculous myth. Myth, I scoffed, gesturing to the electron microscope. I'm on the verge of proving that Silas Thorne was more than just a grieving widower. Cale leaned closer, his breath ghosting against my ear. And what if you do prove it, Dr. Hayes? What then? Will you unleash something you can't control? The questions sent shivers down my spine. I wanted to know the answers to them myself. Forced proximity was the only way I could continue my research. I offered them a deal, full access to my research, transparency in exchange for their protection. They had interests in keeping the legend of Silas Thorne quiet, and I had a desperate need to prove its existence. Living with them was a torment, a slow burn of unspoken desires and simmering animosity. Liam's disdain was palpable. He watched my every move, a hawk guarding its territory. Cale's interest was far more unsettling. He would appear in my lab late at night, a silent shadow observing my experiments, his eyes glinting with a knowing darkness. The house we now shared was old and secluded, perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean. The wind howled relentlessly, a constant reminder of the raw power of nature. The Thorne ancestral home was oppressive, filled with portraits of stern-faced men and the heavy weight of history. I felt like an intruder, a trespasser in their world. The animosity, of course, simmered into something more. Liam, the honorable historian, found himself drawn to my unwavering dedication, my relentless pursuit of truth. He saw the fire in my eyes, the same passion that had driven Silas Thorne to the brink. Our arguments became charged, the air thick with unspoken tension. One night, after a particularly heated debate about the ethics of my research, he grabbed my arm, his fingers bruising. "You're playing with fire, Evelyn," he growled, his face inches from mine. "You don't understand what you're unleashing." But in that moment, I didn't care about the consequences. I only cared about the heat in his eyes, the raw desire that mirrored my own. I leaned in, my lips brushing against his. He hesitated for a moment, then succumbed, his mouth crashing down on mine with a desperate ferocity. Kale's seduction was different, slower, more deliberate. He understood the scientific mind, the allure of the unknown. He would challenge my theories, push me to my limits, and then, when I was at my most vulnerable, he would offer a comforting word, a gentle touch. One night he found me hunched over the electron microscope, exhausted and frustrated. He placed a hand on my shoulder, his fingers kneading the tense muscles. "Let me show you something," he whispered, leading me to his personal lab tucked away in the basement. It was filled with strange contraptions, bubbling beakers, and the pungent aroma of chemicals. He showed me his research, his attempts to replicate the Thorne curse through scientific means. His research was disturbing, twisted. "You're as mad as Silas Thorne," I whispered, backing away. He laughed, a cold, unsettling sound. "Perhaps, but at least I'm not afraid to embrace the darkness." He pulled me close, his lips trailing down my neck. "I know what you want, Evelyn. You want to understand the curse. You want to control it." He kissed me then, a deep, intoxicating kiss that left me breathless. My mind screamed at me to stop, to pull away, but my body betrayed me, craving his touch, his dark intensity. One night I found myself drawn to both of them, an inescapable force drawing me closer. I found Liam in the library, poring over ancient texts, his brow furrowed in concentration. I found Cale in his lab, surrounded by his twisted experiments, his eyes burning with feverish intensity. I didn't think, I just acted. I approached Liam first, pulling him from his chair, pressing my body against his. He moaned, burying his face in my hair. Then I led him to Cale's lab, where he was waiting, a knowing smirk on his face. What followed was an explosion of need, a blurring of boundaries and a shattering of inhibitions. Liam's strength, Cale's intensity, and my own desperate desire to understand the Thorne legacy, all colliding in a tempest of sensation. The next day I returned to the lab. The Petri dish was gone. "Where is it?" I demanded, turning to face them. "Gone," Liam said, his face unreadable. "Destroyed," Cale added, his eyes glinting with triumph. I wanted to believe them, but I knew better. The Thorne curse was real, and they had just unleashed it. That night I felt it, a shift in the air, a tingling on my skin, a whisper in the back of my mind. The curse wasn't contained, it was spreading, and I was its new host. The curse was not what I believed it to be. It wasn't an infection of the land, but of the mind. It wasn't some virus of the body, but a sickness of the soul. It amplified the hate, fed the anger, festered within any cracks. And I am full of cracks. Now I understand Silas Thorne. I feel his rage, his despair, his utter, consuming grief. The curse has amplified my own failures, my own shortcomings, until they have become a deafening roar. I can see it too, Liam and Cale's darkness, their love turned to rot, their hidden secrets festering in the shadowed corners of their hearts. I laugh, the sound hollow, and I see the fear bloom in their eyes. The curse is no longer a legend. I am the curse. The end is only the beginning.